said that Sadhguru is spiritually not awakened. And some people try to negate that. We can go into the comments and I'm going to explain why I'm still right. And the interesting thing is it's always men that comment that. I never see women comment anything around that topic. And the reason is, I'm an observer. I'm an observer, and I sometimes go into my intuition or intellectually ask myself why. And the reason is very simple, because there's something called libido self-empowerment and toxic metaframing. Libido self-empowerment is that you choose your way of joy and sexuality. So you make decisions based on higher joy, higher sexuality. And that opens up your sacral chakra. So you basically are creating a life that is joyous, full with sexuality. And other men can feel that. So you come into your kind of like power. And as you come into your power, other men will try to push you down, because what most men or people in the world do is they suppress their sacral chakra, they suppress their libido self-empowerment. And the only way they can exert sexual hierarchy over others is because they don't have the power in themselves. They go into the internet and try to put others down. And you notice that because if you look into many of the comments, you will see that there is a slight tendency towards trying to put you down. For example, you have no idea what you're talking about. You're not awakened yourself. Us normal beings, we're like this. We don't understand these masters, blah, 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 blah. And so you have a lot of Sadhguru fanboys who will kind of try to... It's basically like being a fan of a soccer player. It's the same thing, like, and you see, spiritual awakening is a realization, okay? It's not a thought process, it's a realization. It's a realization you're not your thoughts. And when that realization has happened, it literally involves everything, because that's the source. And then saying you're a spiritual teacher or mystic or whatever, and then go around the world and never talk about it, shows that you're not spiritually awakened. Because if you are spiritually awakened, it's literally everything. There is, you cannot, it's like imagine you know that you're breathing air, okay? And nobody else knows that they're breathing air. And they're suffering let's say they believe they're breathing toxic air, but you know it's clean air. And you go around the world and start to talk to people about shit, but you never tell anyone, hey, listen, the air you're breathing is actually clean. So don't worry about anything. The air is clean. You're okay. But he doesn't do that. Sadhguru doesn't do that because he's not spiritually awakened. You get my point? And there was one guy who said, well, Sadhguru literally said, you're not your mind, you're not your body. It's something that has accumulated over time. A lot of people speak about non-duality or awakening in a way that would, to a non-awakened person, allude or seem that they're awakened, but they're really not. I could talk to you, I could take phrases, I could take little phrases and pretend to you that I mean I am awakened, or there was an awakening, but let's imagine there were not, and I would start to speak about awakening. I could be like, oh yeah, there's this field of peace. You just have to let go. And you're not your mind, you're not your body, it's just accumulated. And you just are. and that's all there is. You know what I mean? So you can talk about it, but it doesn't mean that the recognition is complete or that it has happened. And it does matter because you have to ask yourself where you take the message from. And the way Sadhguru also spoke about other non-duality teachers, and this view has been shared a lot by him, where he spoke about, teachers that show you how to be in the now, not in the past, not in the future. Or he was also speaking about Ramana and stuff like that. Showed to me clearly he was not awakened. As an awakened, I can say it showed clear that he was not awakened. It is something else when the libido or the ego is the same thing. When it instrumentalizes an idea of awakening or the awakening itself for its own benefits. But even then, you cannot escape the non-duality of nature of everything because you have that recognition. So it's there. It's like, I tell you an example. I mean, we could take anyone else, but I'm just going to take myself right now. If I were to be invited to an international TV show, and they would tell me, tell us something about spirituality, Sadhguru would go on about talking about, something, but he wouldn't talk about, awakening to the awareness. And I would have to, because I am spiritually awakened. There is a spiritual awakening. So I cannot ignore it. I cannot speak about, some other thing. I have to speak about non-duality because it's literally, like Muji says, the king of spirituality. The king's discipline. How does he say that? The highest discipline. No, it's not a discipline, but awakening. And yeah, I think Sadhguru is being put on a pedestal because people are not ready to really look at Ramana, Muji, or Eckhart Tolle. It's my feeling. It's fast food of spirituality without really being spirituality, kind of. And then somebody else said, that he's been initiated by Sadhguru. What does that mean, being initiated by Sadhguru? You can be initiated by anyone for anything. I mean, it's literally the ego saying I was initiated by. So you're now worth more, or what? Like, what is that?